Hello and welcome back to Quays TV News for the first broadcast of 2014. I'm Sophie Whitfield. What was initially thought to be a body part floating in the water at Salford Quays has now been identified as a dead parrot. A passerby reported that they thought there was a dismembered hand in the Manchester Ship Canal to the authorities. Police, fire and ambulance services arrived at the scene and after a thorough search of the water discovered only the bird. On day 11 of Bill Roache's trial, cast members of Coronation Street are in court to give evidence. Anne Kirkbride, who plays Ken Barlow's wife Deirdre, Chris Gascoigne, who plays Ken's son Peter Barlow, and Helen Worth, who plays Gail Platt, are all giving evidence in Roache's defence. Roache, aged 81 from Wilmslow, denies 2 counts of rape and 4 indecent assaults involving 4 girls aged between 11 and 16 in the Manchester area between 1965 and 1968. The trial continues. Hundreds of protesters gathered at the Barton Moss Protection Camp as part of the Solidarity Sunday March. Dan McLaughlin went down to find out what it's like to be a protester for the day. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but Dan's package will be available on the website. A student who lost his mother just before a university deadline is challenging the submission rules. George Graham launched a petition against the current policy on personal mitigating circumstances. Kat Houston reports.
All students face the stress of deadlines over the Christmas break, but imagine suffering the loss of a loved one and still having the added pressure of deadlines. That's exactly what happened to George Graham. After receiving no support from the University of Salford, George took action and started an online petition to increase the 4-day PMC designated extension to allow a proper grieving period.
Which obviously I applied for an extension. My mum's funeral was the Friday before, and I was in for the interview the Tuesday after, and I had to come to Manchester on Sunday. So it was about 48 hours afterwards, and then basically they just told me that I couldn't get an extension. I'd have to resit it in August and graduate in 2015 instead of this year. There was no flexibility on that. The petition is now to get a policy change at the university for wider communication, basically, for staff and for students, because people shouldn't be forced to head to Manchester or to university after such a short space of time. I have, coping with a loss like that.
Todd Hewitt, the Vice President of the Student Union, had this to say on the matter.
I think in some areas that the processes that the university has for dealing with situations, such as the PMC situations, is communicated relatively well, but it's patchy across the university. And also, I feel that some staff might not feel as knowledgeable about certain processes as other staff. And what that can lead to is staff not feeling empowered to be able to help students through difficult times.
The Student Union is now planning to look into the issues faced by George. This is Kat Houston for Quays TV News.
A cafe in Salford is asking customers to donate an extra cup of coffee when they buy their regular morning brew. CeeLo Deli has created the scheme as a way for those struggling in the economy to still have the small luxury of a morning coffee. Alec Heron reports.
Savoury, sweet, East European art and coffee. CeeLo Deli in Monton, Salford has recently launched a suspended coffee scheme allowing those that attend the cafe to buy one drink for themselves or one drink to give to somebody who may have lost such a luxury. Ona Arena explained.
The customers come in, buy their own coffees, buy their own drinks, and then to suspend another drink. So they wouldn't get that coffee. We'd put that one as a tick on the board. And other people who didn't have the money to buy a coffee would be able to come in and claim that suspended coffee.
With 75 people applying for each open position in Salford, it's now the most difficult part of the country to find employment. But Irina believes the recent economic upturn is already having a positive effect.
Even though we might be still in a recession, I think people want to get themselves out of it. So I think it's all about how you feel. But I definitely feel now there are really good communities that are coming out of the recession.
Facing further council cuts, local residents say such schemes can only help.
I think it's a smashing idea. It brings a sense of community to the village, and people can come in, grab a coffee if they've left a change at home or if they've not got any money on them. I think it's a lovely idea.
People just want to buy something for somebody else, and it's a nice feeling. I guess it gives a a good feel to people who do it.
As Salfordians continue to feel the economic squeeze, universal kindness wins out in this East European cafe. Alec Heron, Quays TV, Monton.
And now it's over to our latte lover with the latest entertainment. It's Kate Emery.
Oh, thanks, Sophie. I do love a good latte.
Oh.
What about you? Do you like coffee?
No, not a
No,
fan.
I didn't think you were a coffee kind of girl.
Not a fan at all.
Couldn't cope. Well, anyway, enough about coffee, and it's up to what you're talking about on Twitter today. So, the talk on Twitter with you is this morning is all about the final of Celebrity Big Brother. The reality show will come to a close tonight after 4 weeks of housemates laughing, arguing and possibly falling in love. Nicola Cookney has tweeted in saying, "What are we all going to do after tomorrow night? Celebrity Big Brother Louisa to win." And now from One Direction is showing his support for Jim Davidson, tweeting, "Looking forward to CBB tonight. Jim Davidson is a legend and it was great when his wife and daughter came into the house." And in more local news, Manchester's Printworks are losing their current mascot, Harry the Hound, as he is retiring. The complex are hosting a big competition for Harry's replacement to see who can come up with the next dynamic character. The winner will have their design created by renowned movie makeup artist Sean Harrison, who has worked on films such as Harry Potter, Captain America, and many more. And now for the film that everybody is talking about, the box office hit Wolf of Wall Street is causing controversy across the world, being accused of glorifying the bad behaviour of its main character, Jordan Belfort. Our film critic, Will Carlisle, has more. Apologies for the technical difficulty. You can find Will's package online at quaysnews.net, but thankfully we have him in the studio anyway, so he can tell us what Wolf of Wall Street is about. So what's it like, Will? Because it is very controversial.
Yes, basically it tells the true story of Jordan Belfort, who through very illegal, very hard to trace, very complicated acts in manipulating the stock market, was able to make millions upon millions of dollars in a single year. And the film essentially just details how much fun he and his friends had. And fun is the perfect word for The Wolf of Wall Street. It's 3 hours long, massively energetic, and I enjoyed every single minute despite its admittedly excessive runtime.
Yeah, I've seen it as well, and I thought it was amazing.
It is an amazing film. It's directed by Martin Scorsese, one of our best living filmmakers, and the director is in his mid-70s, and I'm amazed he can create such an energetic, incredibly tense, very funny. It really runs the entire gamut of emotions, and to be honest, when the Oscars come round in March, this is the one I'll be rooting for.
And it has been causing a lot of controversy, but me personally, after watching the film, I actually don't think it glorifies what everybody is saying. I think if you watch the film, there's bad consequences
Yeah,
for it.
It simply demonstrates the extravagant lifestyle that these people lived, but it doesn't glorify it, it just simply shows it. And quite frankly, like there's a sequence, not to give too much away, where Leonardo DiCaprio is... Shall I continue talking? Yeah. Where Leonardo DiCaprio is high on drugs, and there's a great physical comedy routine, but then it just cuts to a shot of his daughter just watching him, and it's an emotional punch to the gut, and it puts everything in perspective. It's not glorifying it, it's simply showing it. And these aren't heroes, but they lived a extravagant lifestyle.
Yeah, an interesting lifestyle. And I know you also have another film which is quite a bit different from Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes, the Coen brothers film Inside Llewyn Davis, which is much more slower, more methodical by design. It's a story... It's told over the course of a week of an amateur folk musician, Llewyn Davis, played by Ian Isaac. Now, Isaac Oscar. Yes, it's okay, but he is great in the movie. It's technically brilliant. It's shot very well. Here's the problem. It's a 2-hour film basically trying to get sympathy for this character who just cannot catch a break. But I didn't like spending time with him. He was a very mean-spirited person, and when you have to spend that much time with a person who you have to sympathise with, quite frankly, I didn't really want to be in the same room with Llewyn Davis, let alone be inside Llewyn Davis.
That sounds like an interesting one to go and see. I think I'd actually quite like to see it myself. And
it has been a critical darling. It's been very critically acclaimed, as critics do love the Coen brothers films. It is what you make of it. If you like the main character, you'll love the film. Me personally, I was not a big fan, but I did appreciate it on a technical filmmaking level.
Oh, there we go then. That's 2 Academy Awards. I can't say it. Academic Awards. Oscar-nominated films there for you. Okay, thanks very much, Will. And finally, in entertainment, homeless charity Mustard Tree are making the ultimate fashion statement in Manchester's Arndale Centre with a project called The Empty Shop. Siobhan Maguire has more.
The concept of the Empty Shop was born out of Brazil, where unwanted clothes were taken in and donated to the homeless. Manchester is the 3rd city in Europe and the 1st in the UK to showcase the idea here, and all of these donations will go to the charity, the Mustard Tree.
Mustard Tree exists to create choice and opportunity for the homeless and marginalised. Ben approached Mustard Tree in about October last year. I watched the video that they did in Brazil, and I thought it was such an innovative and creative way of bringing fashion and charity together. It's never been done before in the UK. We've got it before London, which is really exciting. I love the fact that it's come to Manchester, and it's a great project to be part of, and I'm behind it 100%.
The aim is to take in donations, and then stylists and bloggers dress the shop for the day. At closing time, the shop is stripped down to start again the following morning with new donations.
It's about asking for people for more than money, which is a bit more personal. It's asking for slightly higher quality clothes so that they can be sold off for a little bit more money, and that can create the sort of essential liquid funds that go back into the homeless programmes that the Mustard Tree run.
So, if you have any unwanted clothes and shoes waiting to be donated to a good cause, then take a trip down to the shop, which will be open until Sunday the 2nd of February, or you can get more details on our website at quaysnews.net. This is Siobhan Maguire, Quays TV News.
That's all from me in entertainment. Back to you, Sophie, for the sport.
Thanks, Kate. After Manchester United already spending a club record of £37.1 million to capture the signing of Juan Mata, the question being asked is who will be next in the door for the Red Devils. David Moyes has stressed there will be more signings to come, whether that will be in this market or in the summer. They've been linked heavily with Bayern Munich midfielder Toni Kroos. However, United look likely to miss out on Southampton's 18-year-old Luke Shaw, with Chelsea looking like they may beat the champions to the signing. Now, from sunshine to showers, Helen is with us to keep you up to date with the latest northwest weather.
It's time to grab your warm clothes as we have a cold few days ahead. Easterly winds are bringing cold maritime air, and after a few reasonable days it's going to turn pretty miserable on Friday. This afternoon will remain dry for most of the region. The majority of the showers have passed, but over the hills in Cumbria it'll probably be a slight chance of snow. Highs of 6 degrees, but those polar winds will make it feel cooler. Thursday will be mostly dry with lighter winds and bright spells. The stark difference is those temperatures of only highs of 2 degrees. Friday looks set to be the worst, turning wet and windy across the whole of the region. Mainly dry on Sunday with a few scattered showers Saturday, but heavy blustery rain expected on Sunday.
And that's all from us here at Quays TV News. We've moved from Friday, so don't forget to watch us every Wednesday. We'll be here from 1:30 p.m. or online at quaysnews.net. You can also join us on Facebook, where you can like our page, or Twitter at Quays News. And also in 3 weeks' time, we've got Prolific North joining us with the latest media news in the Northwest, which will be something to look forward to. So from all of us here at Quays TV News, thank you for joining us and goodbye.